For the last few years, we have been promised new albums by several bands, but due to numerous circumstances, the biggest of them being the COVID-19 outbreak, most of those have been delayed. But this year has been much more promising than the previous ones. We have heard more optimistic news about tour dates and album releases, and 2021 seems like a very positive year for the metal world so far. Here are the 5 most anticipated heavy metal album releases of 2021. Number 5. Metallica. In a 2019 interview, bassist Robert Trujillo said that Metallica had begun the writing process for its next studio album. I'm excited about the next record because I believe it will be a culmination of the 2 previous records. There's no shortage of original ideas. That's the beauty of being in this band, said Robert. He predicted that the album would be released a lot sooner than the previous 2 did. Guitarist Kirk Hammett said that the band have plans to enter the studio after the end of the worldwide tour. He also stated regarding his ideas for the new album, "I have a ton of material. I've overcompensated, so I'm ready to go anytime." In September of that same year, the band teamed up with the San Francisco Symphony Orchestra again to perform S&M 2, which was screened in theaters the next month. However, in September, frontman James Hetfield re-entered rehab after returning to battle with addiction. Therefore, all concert dates were postponed. In May 2020, Metallica released a 2020 virtual acoustic version of the And Justice for All opener, Blackened. Drummer Lars Ulrich suggested that the band could work on the new album while in quarantine, and Robert Trujillo said that they were excited about cultivating new ideas, and that they communicate every week and are working towards eventually entering the studio to record the album. Number 4. Guns N' Roses. In a 2016 interview and after the band's reunion with bassist Duff McKagan and lead guitarist Slash, frontman Axl Rose showed interest in releasing new Guns N' Roses music in the future. Slash later commented, "We all were pretty positive the reunion would never happen, so it's still sort of blowing our minds. But everybody's really getting along great, and I think everybody's come a long way, and it's all cool." Guitarist Richard Fortus confirmed in 2018 that the band was working on a new album, stating, "I think it will happen faster than you think." Slash said in January 2020 that stuff is happening regarding the new album, blaming the music industry at the time for delays. In August 2021, the band released the song Absurd, their first single since 2008. Number 3. Exodus. The writing process of Exodus's next album began in 2016, but was uncertain due to guitarist Gary Holt's involvement with the metal legends Slayer. In 2017, drummer Tom Hunting said that the band had written several songs and that the record could feature original guitarist Kirk Hammett and a possible guest appearance by former guitarist Rick Hunolt. The band promised that it would be very violent and very heavy. The recording process began in September 2020, and the title, Persona Non Grata, was revealed by Gary Holt. This past June was the previously announced release date, but due to drummer Hunting being diagnosed with squamous cell carcinoma of the stomach, it was delayed to November. Number 2. Slipknot. In August 2019, percussionist Sean Cran announced that Slipknot will release an experimental album of outtakes from the 2008 All Hope Is Gone sessions, titled Look Outside Your Window. The album was recorded with just 4 members, Sean Cran, Corey Taylor, James Root, and Sid Wilson. In May 2021, Cran revealed that the band is currently making, quote, God music. The next month, he revealed that a new Slipknot album would hopefully be released in 2021, and that the band would be parting ways with Roadrunner Records following the release of that album. On July 26, 2021, the band's original drummer Joey Jordison tragically died in his sleep at the age of 46. And number 1. Megadeth. In June 2017, frontman Dave Mustaine said that Megadeth would enter the studio at the end of that year to begin working on their 16th studio album. "We plan on going back in the studio. We're probably gonna go back in and start throwing some ideas around at the end of the year. We're thinking about November or December," said Mustaine. A month later, Mustaine stated that he had begun collecting ideas but also said that they would probably enter the studio in 2018 to begin recording it for a 2019 release. However, the band never actually did that until 2019. Despite Mustaine's cancer diagnosis, they vowed to finish the record. In 2020, Megadeth announced co-headlining the Metal Tour of the Year alongside Lamb of God, but the tour dates were postponed to this year's summer. In January, the album title was revealed: The Sick, The Dying, and the Dead. Unfortunately, original bassist David Ellefson was once again fired from the band, this time with no chance of returning ever again, after private sexual videos were leaked and allegations of child grooming were made. Ellefson's bass tracks were removed from the album, and former bass player James Lomenzo rejoined to re-record them and replace Ellefson for the tour. Thank you Allah for watching this video. Which album are you excited about the most? Tell me down in the comments, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. I will see you next time.